Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is AnsAlli and this is my series Haunted History. Today we're going to be talking about the disappearance of Theodosia. Theodosia was born in Albany, New York, and her father was the second Vice President of the United States. Because he was the Vice President, he had very strict expectations for Theodosia, and she ended up getting an education that was only available to boys at the time. She went on to learn music, arithmetic, dancing, and French. She would write letters to her father, and unfortunately all she would get in return was criticism. When Theodosia was only 11 years old, her mother had passed away, and both her and her father took this very hard. Now her father began to get into some trouble financially and just other ways, and he wanted Theodosia to marry a very wealthy and powerful man that could hopefully just cover himself and get rid of the burden of his debt, or at least help. So when she was 14 years old, she moved to her father's home in Greenwich Village, and they started to throw dinner parties and events to where she could meet these men. Well, she met a man called Joseph Alston. Now, Joseph was a wealthy rice plantation owner, and he was also the governor of South Carolina at the time. Her father was very pleased with this and really pushed for their union. In 1801, Theodosia and Joseph were married and were the first recorded couple to have honeymooned at Niagara Falls. In 1802, they gave birth to a baby boy and they were elated. Now this is where things started to go downhill. In 1807, Theodosia's father, Aaron Burr, was arrested for treason and other things. Theodosia did the best that she could to be by his side during his trial, but unfortunately he had to go to Europe and just deal with that, and he left, and Aaron Burr, he left Theodosia in charge of everything, and she worked as his agent, doing everything she can to get him back. So to get him back, she had to travel to New York to pick him up and I guess deal with some things. It wasn't really specific that I could pick out how that arrangement worked, but that was their plan. She was going to leave, travel to New York, and get her father back. In 1812, when they were going to their summer home, their son developed a sickness in which they later found out was malaria, and unfortunately he succumbed to it and passed away. And this really was hard on Theodosia, and she just never recovered. She wasn't the same as she was before, and she couldn't go travel to pick up her father at this point, and she was just too devastated. So at this point she said, okay, I will go in December and pick up my father. We'll do it this way. That'll give me time to process this and heal. So everything was set, and at this time, the War of 1812 had begun, and since her husband Joseph was the governor in South Carolina, he was also a captain in the military. So he couldn't go with her to visit her father. He had to stay back for the war. But he had a friend who was like a doctorate, and he was going to go travel with Theodosia to make sure she was okay. Well, sorry for the change of scenery, but my camera just decided to go out and won't record or take a picture anymore. And I'm so frustrated. I have no idea what to do, but I'll figure that out. I was able to get the last clip, I hope, because I have 30 minutes left to record, and I really want to get this out to you guys. I know I don't have any subscribers yet, but one day I might. But with that being said, please excuse the change and how awful my background is. I just have my artwork over here and trying to get back to normal. So I left off talking about how Joseph couldn't help go with Theodosia as she was leaving to go see her father, and he sent a friend. Now, the War of 1812 was going on, but with her father's social standing and her husband being the governor, they should have had a safe passage to New York. They boarded the Patriot, which was an old Navy vessel, and from there they would leave Georgetown and go to New York. As the Patriot went off into the fog, the crew, the ship, and Theodosia was never seen again. So there are a few theories about what exactly happened to Theodosia. The first theory is that the Patriot wrecked and was scavenged by a group of pirates called the Carolina Bankers. And these pirates would go to wrecked ships, take all that they can, and would kill all of the surviving passengers. Now, another theory is that an enemy of Theodosia's father, since he had so many issues with debt, that she was actually kidnapped, or that an enemy of her husband, Joseph, he was a captain in the military and a war was going on, was she kidnapped because of that as well. Both of those are also theories that were talked about. Now, around this time, a mysterious woman appeared in a place called Gadsby's Tavern. I think this is in Virginia, but I'm not too sure. I'll look it up and I'll insert a picture and information of the place. So a woman appeared in Gadsby's cabin and ended up dying there. And they held a ceremony for her, and they buried her and made a tombstone for her. And this mysterious woman, whose tombstone read, "In memory of a female stranger whose mortal sufferings terminated on the 14th of October in 1816. The fourth theory that came up was the Patriot wrecked off of the Cape of Hatteras, North Carolina, and they thought this because they kept logs of everything that was going on, and they noted that there was a storm in that area, and there was wreckage, and a bunch of sailors washed up on the shore, and I mean, the story fits, right? But Theodosia's body was never found in that, so it's hard to say if that was what was true. But another thing about this case was in that same town, of many, many years later, an older woman passed away and her estate was sold. And inside they found a young portrait of Theodosia. So the final theory is that the Patriot was captured by pirates, and the pirates ended up taking Theodosia as a hostage. And with that storm being on record, they said that pirate ship wrecked, and Theodosia was stuck, chained to this wreckage of the pirate ship. You know, it said that an Indian chief saw what was happening and rushed over to help Theodosia, and he found her and got her chains loose. She was wearing nothing but her locket and had severe trauma to her body. And as he was carrying her back to shore, they said that she took the locket off and gave it to this Indian chief, but she passed away in his arms. Now to the haunted part. several stories have been heard, so there are several accounts of her ghost being seen. And the first one is at the warehouse and the loading docks in Georgetown. Is she going back to this in the afterlife, trying to reach her father? Others have said to have seen her walking around the beaches near Georgetown. They've seen her at Devereaux Beach. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Huntington Beach. And they've even seen her at the Brook Green Grounds. The last one says that she went back to the home that she actually owned in Charleston. And it said it online that the deed of her home is still on display inside the house to this day. And I'll try to insert a picture if I can. I don't know if I should post it to show the house because it's a private home, but I think it's very neat that they still have the deed of the house that she lived in her name. I have a new series coming up on Wednesday. I've been working so hard planning this, and I really hope it works out. It's called Creatures of the Night, and I didn't know what that meant. There was a Kiss song about it. If you know, you know. But it's talking about like scary beings that you see at night here. But I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear your thoughts.